okay, what kind of mutants should we make? Should we make something like unstoppable, like a rhinoceros, or something just like fearless and angry like a warthog? And Shredder's like, no, we're gonna make a turtle of our own. And I'm like, did this motherfucker just say turtle again? All right, fine, let's talk about the Ooze. So in the weeks following Shredder's death, the Foot Clan was very adrift as an organization. In fact, that was the last I saw of Mikey and Brian. They went back to work at their dad's butcher shop in the Bronx. Me, I was feeling very disillusioned. I mean, I had been a ninja for about 2-3 years at this point, never even thrown a smoke bomb. And that's like Ninja 101. Like, you take a smoke bomb, you throw it, poof, cloud of smoke, and you're gone. I'd never even seen a smoke bomb. As it turns out, New York has very strict firework laws. You can't really be setting those off in the city, understandably so. And smoke bombs are kind of under that category. Tatsu had a small stash that he said were grandfathered in from his days at Studio 54, whatever that means. Anyways, I did a lot of soul searching, and I was like, we need to get back to what makes us ninjas. So I got the guys together, and I was like, look, let's bring the Foot Clan out of the shadows and into the 90s. Like, let's show this city who we are. Let's do community service. Let's put our best foot forward. In fact, that's what we were going to call it, BFF, best foot forward. I was like, guys, we don't need that idiot Shredder and his stupid obsession with Splinter and the Turtles. And oh my God, he's standing right behind me, isn't he? Oh, why did I pick the junkyard for the meeting spot? Now, this means a couple of things. Number one, the cops never looked for Shredder's body in the garbage truck, which that feels a little irresponsible. And number two, it means that Shredder has either spent the last 3 weeks crawling/eating his way out of a pile of garbage, or the far more likely answer, he crawled out 3 weeks ago and has been living the life of a junkyard hobo and saw us arrive for our meeting, and now is doing a dramatic entrance. So Shredder's back, he immediately takes control, and he's like, we are 100% all hands on turtle revenge. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm getting stabbed again. Shredder's like, first of all, we're gonna do a corporate restructure. First, I'm at the top. Tatsu, you're number 2. Eddie from Bayonne, you're number 3. I'm like, Eddie from Bayonne? What? First of all, Eddie was not the sharpest katana in the drawer. Let's just leave it at that. And second, he lived in New Jersey. This junkyard is in Brooklyn. He was 40 minutes late getting here today. You're gonna make him number 3? But I had already got cotton mouthed off, so I knew it wasn't gonna be me. So anyways, Shredder sends Eddie out to follow April O'Neil, and he comes back with a huge flower. And he's like, Master Shredder, I brought you this giant dandelion. And I'm like, first of all, Eddie, you are not a botany expert. That could be a giant dahlia. You don't know. But Shredder was like, no. This is the key. We are going to find whatever mutated this flower. We are going to create our own mutants to fight the turtles because you guys suck at that. And I was like, well, that's insulting, but like, honestly, this is your best plan ever. Like, I'm actually kind of on board with this, especially the part where I'm not getting stabbed. So we go down to TGRI Labs, and god damn it, the turtles are there. Like, do they have the same idea that we have? And so we fight over the last canister of ooze, and we get it, and Tatsu throws a smoke bomb, and I just stood there like an idiot. Like, I was like, oh my God, a smoke bomb, finally. So we get back with the Ooze, and we're like, okay, what kind of like mutants should we make? Should we make something like unstoppable, like a rhinoceros, or something just like fearless and angry like a warthog? And Shredder's like, no, we're gonna make a turtle of our own. And I'm like, did this motherfucker just say turtle again? And Shredder's like, no, but it's gonna be like a real mean turtle, like a snapping turtle. You mean like an Ernest movie? Ow! Ow! Okay. And then Shredder's like, oh, we're also doing this junkyard dog I befriended. Now, was Rahzar a dog? I admit he had dog-like features, but you know that old scary story where a couple goes on their honeymoon and they find a stray dog and they bring it back and the vet says, no, this is actually a giant tropical rat and you have all of its parasites now? That's kind of what I thought about Rahzar. But Shredder wanted Tokka and Rahzar, and we were like, okay, let's do Tokka and Rahzar. So we got the professor, he makes the mutants, and Shredder was so stoked. He's like, yes, freak against freak. It's gonna be a real freak off. Wait, can we edit around the part where I said it's a real freak off? It was not like that. And so Tokka and Rahzar come out. They're looking big, they're looking swole, and they have the minds of a toddler. And so Shredder comes out and he's screaming, they are babies! And I'm like, that's hilarious. But then I realized, like, we were child soldiers and they are baby soldiers. Like, this got worse somehow. Yikes. Yikes. So then Shredder puts Tokka and Rahzar on the back burner, and he's like, okay, we gotta have a recruitment drive. Let's get some more Foot Clan ninjas in the door. And we're like, great, should we, fire up the warehouse, get the arcade games going? And he's like, no, we're just gonna have ninja tryouts. I'm like, I don't think that's a great recruitment strategy, but okay, let's hold tryouts. And it turns out there's a lot of scummy martial arts guys in the tri-state area just waiting for an opportunity like this. So we're having tryouts, and Eddie's like, okay, so Keno's clearly the best, so we can send all these other guys home. And I'm like, whoa, are we only filling one position? We've already lost the twins, we're down 2 guys, like, surely some of these guys are good enough. Eddie's like, no, Keno, that's it. And we gotta make sure he's a ninja. And I'm like, okay, well, how do we test if he's a ninja? And he's like, I'm gonna throw this smoke bomb, and he's got 15 seconds to pull as many jingle bells off of a mannequin. And I'm like, how did you get a smoke bomb? You're gonna waste it on him? Also, removing jingle bells from a mannequin? You mean pickpocketing? That stuff we used to do before we were ninjas? So Eddie throws the smoke bomb, and 15 seconds later, Keno is standing there with an armful of bells, and I'm like, this guy's clearly working with the turtles. Like, it was so obvious. Like, Keno, the guy who can't hold a pizza box level, is suddenly a master ninja? Also, I could see Raphael standing behind the boxes. It was clear as day. Long story short, I was totally right about Keno. He was working with the turtles. We ended up capturing Raph and setting a trap for the turtles. And that actually worked. Like, we had the 3 other turtles caught in a net. And I'm like, guys, we got them. Like, it's done. And then Shredder's like, begin the unnecessarily slow crane mechanism. Like, full Dr. Evil, like, slowly moving the turtles over a bed of sharpened swords. And I'm like, you understand Leonardo has its sword in there. They're going to cut their way out in about 10 seconds. It didn't matter anyways, because Splinter shows up and shoots the rope with an arrow from a distance of like 50 yards, and I'm like, that's actually kind of impressive. So then out comes Tokka and Rahzar, who we did not need up until this point. And they fought a little bit, but the turtles escaped, and I was actually kind of grateful, because, like, nobody wants to watch somebody fight a baby. That's just sad. So then Shredder's like, okay, fine. We're going to let Tokka and Rahzar just run wild through the streets, causing destruction, and that'll get the turtles' attention. But we picked the one block in New York where nobody was. Like, literally an empty street in New York, which, like, that never happens. The only people who ever saw us were this old couple getting into a cab, and that lady could not have cared less. So Tokka and Rahzar wrecked the street, and then the next morning, nobody knows who did it. The cops and the media show up, and they're like, who caused all this destruction? We have no idea. So Eddie, who at this point is working as Freddie, April O'Neil's cameraman, great undercover work there, buddy. He goes up to April and he's like, hey, can you tell the turtles that we did this, and can you have them meet at the dock later tonight, please? Like, it was so embarrassing. So then the turtles show up for the big freak off. Can we edit around where I said freak off again? So the turtles show up for the freak against freak fight, and Michelangelo's like, hang on, we gotta have our pre-fight donuts. And I'm like, we have never shared donuts before, and you clearly didn't bring enough for the whole class, Michelangelo. So the fight happens, things are getting wild, and then suddenly, like, boom, they crash through the wall of the Dockside Club, and I'm like, bah, 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 bah. It is 1991, and you're telling me we've been standing next to a Vanilla Ice concert this entire time? My only 2 questions are, where is my backstage pass, and when is he playing Ice Ice Baby? Spoiler alert, I never got backstage, and Vanilla Ice didn't play Ice Ice Baby. Like, how insane is that? You go to a Vanilla Ice concert and he's not playing Ice Ice Baby?
So what did he play?
I don't know, some new freestyle rap he was doing. I knew it wasn't Ice Ice Baby. So then Shredder comes out, threatens the turtles, takes a woman hostage. I'm like, yikes. And he's like, stand back or I'll ooze her. And I'm like, you might want to rethink your words there, buddy. And then the turtles literally blasted him with the power of rock using Vanilla Ice's guitar. I mean, it was the 90s. Guitars were a thing. Like, so Shredder crashes through the wall and down into the bottom of the pier, and he spills the ooze on himself, and he starts mutating into the Super Shredder. And I take a look and I see, like, his shoulder pads are 3 times the size they were before. And I'm not like a metallurgical expert, but if this ooze can grow metal, why aren't we just sprinkling this on some gold and like platinum and we could be retired in the Caymans by now? Oh, God, so stupid. So anyway, Super Shredder and the Turtles are now under the pier. They're getting ready to fight, and I'm like, wow, the Turtles are probably in some trouble. Like, Shredder's kind of big now. But it turned out to be more of like a fat guy in a spiky cloak kind of situation, because he just got stuck between 2 pillars of the pier, and he's like, ah, and just pulls the whole damn thing right on top of himself. At that point, I didn't really care. I was at a Vanilla Ice concert and I wasn't getting stabbed. Best Friday I could have in the 90s. After that, I was pretty much done with the Foot Clan. I think most of us were. Eddie went back to New Jersey. He now owns a dry cleaning business. My boy Christopher works in finance on Wall Street. 90-hour work weeks. I am not jealous of him. Tatsu died of syphilis, which makes perfect sense. That guy stuck his dick in anything. And me, I was almost 18 at that point. I was nowhere close to graduating high school. And it was actually Donatello who helped me get my GED. He's a really smart guy, and we became good friends. You know, we still hang out from time to time. These days, he primarily does machines, which is his funny way of saying he works for Boston Dynamics. Leonardo moved to San Jose. He works in venture capital now. Traded in his katanas for CrossFit, which he will tell you about. Michelangelo moved to LA to chase the surf life, and he became a stunt coordinator. You can usually find him every night at the Venice Beach Drum Circle. Raphael really got into conspiracy theories, and last I heard, he was in a militia somewhere in Upper Peninsula, Michigan. Splinter retired to Florida, loves playing pickleball. I owe that guy a phone call. April O'Neil, you know her from CNN these days. Casey Jones, still walking the streets a free man. You belong in jail, Casey. And me, well, my ninja days might be over. At least I'm not getting stabbed these days. Do I have any regrets? I don't know. I mean, like, I look back on that time really fondly. I mean, I made a lot of great friends. Even the Turtles. I mean, I'm so glad to be friends with Donatello these days. You might say we made a lot of bad decisions along the way, but it's like the old saying goes. You never really know until you walk a mile in someone else's foot.